We all face difficulties, challenges, and hardships in life. We all experience pain, loss, anger, fear, and frustration. We all have desires, hopes, dreams, and expectations. But how do we deal with them? How do we cope with the ups and downs of life? How do we find happiness and peace in a chaotic and uncertain world? The answer lies in an ancient philosophy that has been practiced for centuries by some of the greatest minds and leaders of history, Stoicism. Stoicism is a way of living that teaches us how to control our emotions, act with wisdom and virtue, and live in harmony with nature and reason. Stoicism is not a religion, a dogma, or a set of rules. It is a practical and rational guide for living well. Stoicism is based on the idea that the only thing we can truly control is ourselves, our thoughts, our judgments, our actions, and our reactions. Everything else is external to us and not under our power. We cannot control what happens to us, what other people do or say, or how the world changes. We can only control how we respond to them. Stoicism teaches us that the source of our unhappiness and suffering is not the external events themselves, but our opinions and emotions about them. We often attach too much value and importance to things that are not essential for our well-being, such as money, fame, pleasure, or reputation. We also let our emotions cloud our judgment and distort our perception of reality. We get angry when things don't go our way. We get sad when we lose something we love. We get anxious about the future. We get jealous of others. We get greedy for more. We get bored with what we have, and so on. Stoicism shows us how to free ourselves from these negative and irrational emotions and replace them with positive and rational ones. By doing so, we can achieve a state of inner calm, tranquility, and joy, regardless of the external circumstances. We can also act with courage, justice, wisdom, and self-discipline, and fulfill our duties and responsibilities as human beings. We can live in accordance with our true nature, which is rational, social, and virtuous. To help us achieve this goal, Stoicism offers us 13 lessons that we can apply to our daily lives. These lessons are based on the teachings and writings of the most famous and influential Stoic philosophers, such as Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, Chrysippus, the most prolific and influential Stoic logician and ethicist Seneca, the Roman statesman, dramatist, and tutor of Nero Epictetus, the former slave-turned-teacher and philosopher, and Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher. These lessons are: know what is in your power and what is not. This is the fundamental principle of Stoicism, also known as the dichotomy of control. We should focus only on what we can control, which is our own thoughts, judgments, actions, and reactions, and accept what we cannot control, which is everything else. By doing so, we can avoid frustration, anger, anxiety, and disappointment, and instead feel calm, confident, and content. As Epictetus said, some things are up to us and some things are not up to us. Our opinions are up to us, and our impulses, desires, aversions, in short, whatever is our own doing. Our bodies are not up to us, nor are our possessions, our reputations, or our public offices, or that is, whatever is not our own doing. Live according to nature. This means living in harmony with the natural order of the universe, which is governed by reason and providence. It also means living in harmony with our own nature, which is rational, social, and virtuous. We should use our reason to understand the world and ourselves and act accordingly. We should also recognize that we are part of a larger whole, a cosmic community of rational beings, and cooperate with them for the common good. We should also cultivate the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, which are the qualities that make us good and happy. As Marcus Aurelius said, everything is interwoven, and the web is wholly, none of its parts are unconnected. They are composed harmoniously, and together they compose the world. Use reason to guide your actions. Reason is the faculty that distinguishes us from other animals and allows us to understand the nature of things and ourselves. Reason is also the source of our moral judgments and decisions. We should use reason to examine our beliefs, opinions, and impressions and discard those that are false, irrational, or harmful. We should also use reason to plan our actions and choose those that are consistent with our nature and the nature of things. We should also use reason to evaluate our actions and learn from our mistakes and successes. By using reason, we can act with wisdom, clarity, and consistency. As Seneca said, reason, if consulted, will advise us to do nothing rashly, to do nothing unjustly, to do nothing carelessly, to do nothing carelessly. Be mindful of your thoughts and emotions. Our thoughts and emotions are the result of our judgments and interpretations of the external events. They are not caused by the events themselves, but by how we perceive and evaluate them. Therefore, we have the power to change our thoughts and emotions by changing our judgments and interpretations. We should be aware of our thoughts and emotions and examine them critically and objectively. We should also challenge and question them and see if they are based on facts, logic, and evidence, or on assumptions, biases, and errors. We should also replace our negative and irrational thoughts and emotions with positive and rational ones that are aligned with reality and our nature. By doing so, we can avoid being disturbed, deceived, or misled by our thoughts and emotions, and instead use them as tools for our well-being and growth. As Epictetus said, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. Practice self-control and moderation. Self-control and moderation are the aspects of the virtue of temperance, which is the ability to restrain and regulate our desires, impulses, and passions. We should practice self-control and moderation in all aspects of our life, such as our diet, our sleep, our entertainment, our spending, our speech, our behavior, and our emotions. We should avoid excess, indulgence, and addiction, which are harmful for our body, mind, and soul. We should also avoid deficiency, deprivation, and asceticism, which are unnecessary and unnatural. We should seek a balance and a harmony between our needs and our wants, our pleasures and our pains, our duties and our freedoms. We should also be content with what we have and not crave for more than we need. By practicing self-control and moderation, we can achieve a state of health, happiness, and harmony. As Seneca said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Be courageous and resilient. Courage and resilience are the aspects of the virtue of courage, which is the ability to face and overcome difficulties, dangers, and fears. We should be courageous and resilient in all situations, especially those that are challenging, threatening, or painful. We should not avoid or run away from them, but confront them with confidence and determination. We should also not be afraid or intimidated by them, but see them as opportunities for learning and growth. We should also not be discouraged or defeated by them, but persevere and adapt to them. We should also not be attached or dependent on them, but accept and detach from them. By being courageous and resilient, we can overcome any obstacle, achieve any goal, and endure any hardship. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Be just and fair. Justice and fairness are the aspects of the virtue of justice, which is the ability to treat others with respect, dignity, and kindness. We should be just and fair in all our dealings with others, whether they are our friends, family, colleagues, strangers, or enemies. We should not harm, cheat, lie, or steal from them, but help, support, trust, and share with them. We should not judge, criticize, or blame them, but understand, appreciate, and forgive them. We should not envy, hate, or harm them, but love, care, and wish them well. We should also not impose our views, values, or interests on them, but respect their views, values, and interests. We should also not expect anything from them, but be grateful for what they give us. By being just and fair, we can build and maintain healthy and harmonious relationships with others and contribute to the common good. As Seneca said, we are members of one great body. Nature created us from the same source and to the same end. She imbued us with mutual affection and sociability. She taught us to be fair and just, to suffer injury rather than to inflict it. Be humble and grateful. Humility and gratitude are the attitudes that reflect our recognition and appreciation of our place and role in the universe, and of the gifts and blessings that we have received from nature, providence, and other people. We should be humble and grateful for everything that we have, and not take them for granted or think that we deserve them, or that we are better than others because of them. We should also acknowledge our limitations, weaknesses, and faults, and not be proud, arrogant, or boastful. We should also be thankful for the challenges, difficulties, and hardships that we face, and not complain, resent, or curse them, as they are opportunities for learning, growth, and improvement. By being humble and grateful, we can cultivate a sense of awe, wonder, and joy, and also a sense of duty, responsibility, and generosity. As Marcus Aurelius said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Be indifferent to things that are neither good nor bad. These are things that are neither in our power nor contrary to our nature, such as wealth, health, fame, beauty, or pain. They are not inherently good or bad, but only become so depending on how we use them or react to them. We should not be attached to them or depend on them for our happiness, or let them affect our emotions. We should use them wisely and moderately if they are available, or accept their absence if they are not. We should also not judge others based on these things, or envy or despise them for having or lacking them. By being indifferent to these things, we can avoid being corrupted, distracted, or disturbed by them. As Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. This is a practice known as premeditation of evils, or negative visualization. It involves imagining the worst possible scenarios that could happen to us, such as losing our loved ones, our possessions, our health, or our life. The purpose of this exercise is not to make us fearful or pessimistic, but to make us realistic and prepared. By anticipating the worst, we can reduce the impact of negative emotions, such as shock, grief, or anger, when they actually happen. We can also appreciate what we have more and not take them for granted. We can also plan ahead and take preventive measures or prepare backup plans to reduce the likelihood or severity of these scenarios. By hoping for the best, we can maintain a positive and optimistic attitude and not let our fears paralyze us or prevent us from taking action. We can also focus on the opportunities and possibilities that lie ahead and work towards achieving our goals and dreams. By preparing for the worst and hoping for the best, we can balance our expectations and emotions and cope with any situation. As Seneca said, "What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster." The fact that it was unforeseen has never failed to intensify a person's grief. This is a reason for ensuring that nothing ever takes us by surprise. We should project our thoughts ahead of us at every turn and have in mind every possible eventuality instead of only the usual course of events. Act as if you were watched by a wise and good person. This is a practice known as the view from above, or the sage's perspective. It involves imagining that we are being observed and judged by a person who embodies the Stoic ideals of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. This person could be a real or fictional character, such as Socrates, Cato, or Yoda. The purpose of this exercise is to make us more conscious and careful of our actions and to motivate us to act with virtue and excellence. By acting as if we were watched by a wise and good person, we can avoid doing anything shameful, dishonest, or harmful, and instead do what is honorable, truthful, and beneficial. We can also learn from the example and advice of this person and aspire to become like them. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Imagine you were now dead or had not lived before this moment. Now view the rest of your life as a bonus and live it as nature directs. Remember that you are mortal." This is a practice known as memento mori, or remembering death. It involves reminding ourselves that we are not immortal and that we could die at any moment. The purpose of this exercise is not to make us fearful or depressed, but to make us humble and grateful. By remembering that we are mortal, we can avoid being arrogant, complacent, or wasteful, and instead be modest, vigilant, and frugal. We can also appreciate the preciousness and brevity of life, and not waste it on trivial or harmful things. We can also focus on what matters most and live each day as if it were our last. As Seneca said, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Be a student of life. This means being open-minded, curious, and eager to learn from everything and everyone. It also means being humble, willing to admit our ignorance and mistakes, and ready to improve ourselves. We should not be satisfied with what we know or think that we know everything, but seek to expand our knowledge and understanding. We should also not be dogmatic, rigid, or stubborn, but flexible, adaptable, and receptive. We should also not be passive, lazy, or complacent, but active, diligent, and ambitious. We should learn from our own experiences, as well as from the experiences of others, both past and present. We should also learn from nature, reason, and virtue, which are the sources of Stoic wisdom. By being a student of life, we can grow, evolve, and excel as human beings. As Epictetus said, don't just say you have read books. Show that through them you have learned to think better, to be a more discriminating and reflective person. Books are the training weights of the mind. They are very helpful. But it would be a bad mistake to suppose that one has made progress simply by having internalized their contents. Conclusion and closing message. In this video, we have learned about Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to control our emotions and live a better life. We have explored 13 Stoic lessons that we can apply to our daily lives based on the teachings of the most famous and influential Stoic philosophers. We have also seen some sources and exercises that can help us learn more about Stoicism. Stoicism is not only a philosophy, but also a way of life. It helps us to face and overcome the challenges, difficulties, and hardships that we encounter in life. It also helps us to act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and to fulfill our duties and responsibilities as human beings. It also helps us to find happiness and peace within ourselves, regardless of the external circumstances. We hope that this video has inspired you to try Stoicism for yourself and to see how it can transform your life for the better. We also hope that you have enjoyed this video and that you have learned something valuable from it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and we wish you all the best in your journey.